Three. Hello, everyone. My name is Genesis, and this is my partner, Luciano. And today we will be presenting on our project, exploring how mentoring relationships between staff of color and first-generation students of color impact retention. So imagine entering a room and feeling completely lost and seeing no familiar faces. You turn to your family for guidance, but they have never had the opportunity to enter that same room. So you have to figure it out on your own. This is the feeling most first generation students of color feel when starting their higher education journey. Our study focuses on highlighting how first generation students are impacted positively by professional staff of color mentoring relationships. We focus on answering the question, how do mentoring relationships between staff of color and first generation students of color impact the retention of this population of students at CSUN? So we decided to take a qualitative approach with a phenomenological research design because we knew that we wanted to highlight our participants' experiences. We wanted to talk about the students' stories. So we knew that the phenomenological research design was very participant oriented. So we decided to use Yoso's community cultural wealth theory because it sees first generation students of color's cultural capital as a unique set of strengths that can help them persist through their four-year institution. So again, it uplifts the students and shows them that the capital they have from their culture or their background will help them in their journey through their higher education journey. We decided to use semi-structured interviews because again, we wanted to go into depth with our participants and see what their experiences were. And this interviews allowed us to learn about them more and learn about their experiences. For our coding method, we decided to go with the lumper coding method. So after each interview, we transcribed the audio, we recorded and created an interview transcript. This began the process of pre-coding, where we took a look at the transcript, we highlighted, circled important quotes that stood out to us. After all the interviews were over, we decided that we would be using this lumper coding method and start lumping different codes into categories. So we started seeing where our interviews overlapped, what themes started arising. So from lumping different codes, we got our themes, our overall themes, which I'll go over next. So our analysis, what we found from these interviews. So the first theme that came up was professional staff of color mentors taking a holistic approach. Taking a holistic approach meant that the staff of color mentor took interest in the student personally, professionally, and academically. Students found more value and meaning from their mentoring relationships when their mentor took interest in more than just superficial things. They found it rewarding when their mentor looked at more than just their academics, looked at them personally as a person. The sub-theme that came from this was more than a student. So our interviewees, our participants expressed that taking the time that they found when their mentors took the time to understand them and their identities, it went a long way in their relationship. And often because the mentor and mentee shared a similar background, they were able to connect over personal interests and stories. Second sub-theme that came up was professional inspiration. Our participants explained how empowered they felt by seeing someone from a similar background and culture as them in a professional role, and highlighted the importance of having a diverse staff and administration in higher education. The third theme that arose was, the second theme, was creating a sense of belonging. So participants noted that the process of being mentored by a professional staff member of color successfully shaped their sense of belonging. Their mentors made them feel included and informed on different clubs, organizations, and allowed them to create a home away from home on their campus, allowed them to feel connected to the institution that they were attending. The third theme that came up was cultivating cultural capital. Our participants expressed how having a mentor allowed them to build their network of people and community resources. They were able to network with administrators and faculty and help them further their education and their plans for the future. So in that aspect, the first sub-theme there was cultivating their social capital. Their mentors helped them really boost that and create a network. The second theme that came up in cultivating cultural capital was navigational capital. So our participants described how their mentors explained what resources the university offered them and how they should take advantage of them. Their mentors helped them understand that their culture and background was not holding them back, but it could help them move forward by being proud and seeking help with the different resources offered on campus. And the last theme that we came up with that our participants kind of really pointed out was how their mentors helped them gain self-confidence and motivation. Our participants expressed how having a continuous and genuine positive feedback and words of reassurance from someone who saw potential and deeply believed in them resulted in an incredible boost of confidence and even motivation to continue their education. Some students found this as a way to continue and go on to get their masters. So mentors really do have the power to empower their mentees. So Luciano will now talk about the value in this field.
Perfect. Thank you, Genesis. Now, when it comes to the value, right? Value of research to the field of higher education. There's two things that we thought were really, really important that came out from our research. First is the importance of having a diverse staff and faculty, right? Having easier access to faculty of color in leadership positions, right? Not having to navigate through a lot of hurdles just to find someone who looks like you, someone who can empower you in those positions, right? Therefore, the importance of having diverse faculty and staff members, right, of color in higher education. Also, our research highlighted the impact of professional staff, right? And that also goes hand in hand with some of the limitations that we found in our research. The fact that we couldn't really find a lot of literature that focus on the work of the staff members. You know, we found a lot of research and a lot of literature on faculty members, right? I mean, on faculty staff, but not on staff members, right? So we feel like a lot of times this might overlook the role and the amazing work that staff members, you know, do in the university setting because there's not a lot of research, um, you know, on the work that they do, which we thought was pretty sad and pretty um, hard to see because our research suggests that they do a lot of amazing work, right? Now let's talk about the reflection, right? Um, there's so many things that we can reflect on based on our research, right? The first thing is that holistic approach to mentoring makes a huge difference. We were able to see that throughout our interviews, right? And that the factor of race and ethnicity does play a huge role in creating and nurturing this relationship on the basis of a mutual understanding between the mentee and the mentor, and also connection, right? Being able to connect with someone who looks like you on the basis of a shared culture, shared values, someone who just gets what you're going through, someone who knows where you come from, someone who knows like to be from the hood, someone who knows like to be you navigating higher education. You know, it's just easier to connect with someone like that, right? And also empowering, right? Seeing people who look like you in positions of power just makes you feel like you can do it all. And that is something that we got from our research. Now, recommendations for the future, right? We just know that we need more research that focuses on students' intersectionalities, identities in higher education, right? Making sure that we're looking at people who they really are and the different things that make people, right? The different intersectionalities that make people. So I'll give it back to you, Genesis.
Yeah, so I hope we really got across how important mentor relationships can be for first generation students of color. Not only just mentorships, but culturally relevant mentorships. But that's all we have for today. So thank you.
Thank you.